Hi everybody, welcome back to the Herefordshire Gardener channel. My name's Aaron. In this video today I'm going to be reviewing the rose just at the back of me, this beautiful coppery orange rose, which is of course Pat Austin. This rose was bred by David Austin and released in 1995. So hopefully you enjoy the video. Remember, give it a thumbs up just to help the channel and get the video out to more people with similar minds. And if you're not already subscribed, please do so. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoy. So for anybody that's new to the Herefordshire Gardener channel, this is the kitchen garden which we're about to go into, or will be the kitchen garden. Just show you some of the other roses which are coming on. I'm going to be doing rose reviews on all of these. Lots and lots of colour coming out now. To say that we're not even at the end of May completely yet, this is insane. Such a warm year has just brought everything on. These are all my cuttings. If you look at my other videos, you'll see which ones those are. I will be doing update videos in due course. And of course that's the fruit cage at the back, which is just temporarily holding a lot of my larger specimen roses until I finish this section of the garden, which will hopefully be later in the year. But everything's coming out and it's just looking like an absolute kaleidoscope of colour. It looks so beautiful. So I'm going to take you to Pat Austin. If you're interested in any of these other roses, knowing what they are, who they are, what they're like, I'm going to be doing update review videos on each one, so please just stay tuned, subscribe, and then you won't miss any of the future videos. So I'm going to take you to Pat Austin. This rose is exquisite. So I got mine from Trevor White Roses in the UK at the, I think it was the end of 2023 as a bare root rose. This one I actually got from a Facebook rose seller called Tanya. Tanya's Gardens. I've talked about her on previous videos before. She's no longer trading. It was meant to be Lady Emma Hamilton, and I literally thought it was in the first year that she bloomed, but I soon realised that she is indeed Pat Austin, and I know that because I have another Pat, which, as I just said, I got from Trevor White Roses in the UK. Beautiful rose. I'm happy. It would have been wonderful if it was Lady Emma Hamilton, but do you know what? This rose is sensational. Just look at those blooms. I think Pat Austin was the first in their line of orange roses. It's a bit of a breakthrough for David Austin. I could be wrong on that, this sort of coppery tone, but just look at that. Wait till you see the size. Look at this. I've got big hands. She's huge. I'm just going to get this video to focus. Lovely. Relatively high petal count. There's about 50 petals per bloom. And she's got this gorgeous deep cup shape. Real rich coppery orange tones, as you can see in the middle there. A little bit of peach almost just at the tips. And then as she comes down, she fades a little bit and she's got this lovely hit of yellow to the underside of her petals. It just elevates those blooms. I mean, from a distance, what is not to like there? And she's got wonderful foliage as well. If you look, it's quite a dark green but very high gloss. Unmistakable. They almost look like they've been polished with a bit of Mr. Sheen, which is a famous polish brand that we use in the UK. I love the buds as well. They start out very inconspicuous. And just look at that. Let's get this to focus. Would never guess that that beast at the back is going to come out of this, but then she starts to give clues along the way. Gorgeous, gorgeous burnt orange, and then these flames that come up in the unopened buds. That's just absolutely wonderful. It reminds me a bit of Golden Celebration, for example, which has this characteristic red twist to the blooms. There's one that's just open a little bit more down here. But look, when she opens, she sort of keeps those back petals reflexed and open because they're much larger petals. And then she's got this informal arrangement in the middle, but she keeps her colours. Her colours are absolutely insane. If that isn't a deep coppery orange, I don't know what else is. And again, she gets even bigger. So this is her full size, fully opened. Lovely deep cup there. Absolutely gorgeous. And the health of this rose is amazing for me. I look after my roses really well, as you all know on the channel. They get fed, they get pruned at the appropriate time. I'm very vigilant for any black spot, rust, fungus, whatever it is, aphids, and I'm quick to sort of get on top of it really, so it never becomes, touch wood, too much of an issue in the garden. Look at this bloom on its way to be open. Oh my God. Excuse the weeds on the floor. As I said, this is a working area of the garden, so we are going to be converting this into a kitchen garden with a Victorian greenhouse where this fruit cage is, and there's going to be lots of these roses in here. So look at that, they start off so tightly cupped in the center, and then they just unfurl into a massive cup of blooms like this. I just think this rose is sensational. And the best part yet, well, one of the best parts is her fragrance. So Pat Austin's different in the sense that she's got a peppery tone to her fragrance, like black pepper, mixed with, I would probably say, tangerines, fruity notes. I get fresh cucumber in there, a bit of zest. But definitely a hit of black pepper, and she's medium to strong in fragrance rating. This is a full sun area when it's not windy and cloudy like it is today, and when the sun hits her, the scent is incredible. It just intensifies it, as it does with most of the roses. So yeah, scent is very, very nice on Pat Austin, which is a bonus. Can hear the geese in the background flying overhead. So yeah, as I said, lovely, gorgeous dark green leaves. If you look at her stems, they remind me a little bit of Bathsheba's stems in the fact that they're dark, or something like Mary Delaney. And they're relatively thorn-free. Try and say that quickly. The main stems seem to have a lot of thorns on, but these newest ones that have come out don't seem to have. There's a few, I'd say medium thorn count, and they're the same colour as the stems, so dark purple, and then the old ones turn into this colour. Just going to let you appreciate these blooms for a little bit longer. I do have another one, as I said, so we may as well go through the rose cage in a minute and just have a quick look at her. If you're interested, I got tin foil around my pots. As I said, these are just temporary pots, but the tin foil reflects the sun's rays, and so it stops the soil warming up too quick. That helps me in terms of not having to water as much, and also I think it puts less stress on the roots, which is why the whole plant looks as healthy as it does. I found that it has made a difference for me on both of those factors. But then saying that, we've had a pretty good year this year in terms of lots of sunshine, so I think with your roses there's lots of factors that can be at play. I've also started with using these, which are alpaca beans. See if we can get that to focus. I've said this in my previous videos. It's basically alpaca poo, but they come out like rabbit droppings or like beans. And I just use these to fertilise with. As of this year, well, I say as of this year, as of the last sort of 5 to 6 weeks. So can't really say for certain whether it's made a huge difference at this stage, but I'm sure it will. So that's my first Pat Austin. Growth habit of this one as well, guys. As you can see, she's easy to tie into a structure. I've just used cheap willow sticks tied into the pot at the bottom and the top, and then it just allows me, while I'm growing them here, to tie them to something. She will flop otherwise, as most of the roses will. The central stems seem to be strong, but the new stuff, particularly as you can see where we've got new blooms, the bloom's so big that that will nod a bit like Golden Celebration, so always good to tie her into like an obelisk, for example. But she'll grow to about 4 foot wide, 4 foot tall, taller if you don't prune her as low, and wider if you don't prune her as narrow. But she is incredible. She looks amazing next to this pink rose, which is Emma Bridgewater, one of their latest releases. from last year. I just love Pat Austin. I've got Lady of Shalott. I'm really desperate for Lady Emma Hamilton because she's very different. But yeah, I think of these varieties of the coppery oranges, Pat Austin, for me, with the stem colour and the leaf colour, very, very good rose. And the fragrance, my God. Right, let's go past these. As tempting as it is to talk about these. It's Munstead in front of us, one of two. And we will go down here and I will show you the other Pat Austin. Let's just work our way through. These are only just starting to come out in here. There's some absolute belters in this room that I really want to talk to you all about. So this is the other Pat Austin just here. Beautiful. There's that shiny foliage, real nice, and the underside much lighter, like a lot of the roses. This one's a slightly smaller bloom, just beautiful though. Just gonna have to have a smell. Oh, it's wonderful. If you look at this one at the back though, look at the cup on that. That is so deep. And I don't know if the camera's picking it up very well, but can you see the sheen on it? It's almost pearlescent. Just incredible. Little flecks of pink in there. If I just turn her up, look at that. Wow. So gorgeous. She almost looks gold in this shot. Shimmering. Like gold leaf is incorporated into her petals. I would say it's more of a gold than a yellow, to be honest. So a golden coppery tones. I think that's the best way to describe Pat Austin. Beautiful. Look at all the buds that are yet to come on this. I mean, she's absolutely loaded. I haven't counted how many, but every stem is ending in bud. She tends to give single blooms, although occasionally she'll give a cluster, like that one, for example. I think there's 5 on that stem. It's trying to rain now. Hopefully it won't interfere with the video. But I thought I'd better get some of these filmed before we sort of miss the boat. And you can see there the alpaca beans again in the bottom. There's a good sort of 2 to 3 centimetre thickness of those. And check out my previous videos if you're interested in why I use the alpaca beans and what's the benefit of those versus anything else. Just trying to show you this so you can appreciate these blooms a bit more. Again, you can see those lovely dark stems. Just get this to focus. They are quite pretty. I think the purple against the gold and the copper, yeah, it just looks wonderful. She is a standout rose in this room. As you've seen, there's quite a lot of roses in here. Quite a lot, bit of an understatement. This is just the temporary area to hold them. Some of these I've dug out of the garden when we've converted for the alpaca's arrival. This one's a belter of a rose. This is the wedding rose Constance. As I say, I'll do an update video. Shropshire Lard is over there. I've already done that, and I've done Munstead Wood, which is on the channel, so feel free to go and check those out. They were the first to bloom in this area of the garden. But yeah, so that's Pat Austin. Go back and take another look at the other one before we wrap this video up. Even through the fruit cage netting, she just looks amazing. Look at that. That's a bloom at the other side. I don't think we saw that one. Stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. For me, I would say, compared to a lot of the roses that I've got, Pat Austin's easily up there with some of my beautiful, highly desired and rated roses. It's difficult to give them a star rating, because I think then, you know, unless you have, I don't know, 50 stars and your really, really good ones reach really high, and then your middle ground somewhere in between, and your rubbish ones right at the bottom. But I think just the way I describe the roses and the feel you get should hopefully pass across how I feel about them. If there are any of them that I think are a bit naff, I would be honest in these videos and tell you. But I think Pat Austin, as long as she gets support, and as long as you keep an eye out for any diseases, as you should be doing with all of your roses, I think she is one that I would advise purchasing. As I said, I got mine from Trevor White Roses in the UK. I'm not sponsored by them. There's probably other suppliers, as she's off patent now. She's a retired rose. David Austin don't supply her anymore, but you can still manage to get hold of her. So there you go. Remember, give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you've got any questions, any suggestions. I'm more than welcome. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Bye bye.